I took a wrought iron horseshoe, straightened out some of the pieces, and layered that on either side of a piece of 80 CRV2. I tack welded that together and then fluxed it with borax and WD-40. The WD-40 melts the borax so it gets all between the layers before it even heated up. So now we're going to throw this in the forge, heat it up, and forge weld it all together, and then we can start making a knife. Because this is wrought iron on the outside and high carbon steel in the middle, we'll have a really good cutting edge, but also really pretty wrought iron grain on the sides. So it should look really awesome. Now that our blade has been heat treated, it's time to do finish grinds. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just go over the profile just to take off any decarb there could be. And then I'm going to take the tang and I'm going to make sure that it's got a taper going from the ricasso all the way to the end of the tang. Get rid of any thick spots or lumps, anything like that. Get the tang nice and clean, and then I will grind the bevels. I'm starting off with a pretty fresh 80 grit belt. Once I've done the 80 grit, I'll switch up to 120, 220, and maybe a 400 grit maybe like a 400 equivalent Trizact or something like that. After that, we'll hand sand. Now that our blade's ground, I'm going to go ahead and sharpen it just to make sure that I didn't accidentally take any spots too thin. I already brought it down to a burr on the grinder, so now I'm just going to hit it on the stone and give it a strop. I'm checking to feel if the burr's still there, if it's gone. Now it's all gone. I can't feel it anymore. So, I'm gonna chop some antler a little bit. Nope, no damage. I'll try the tip. And the tip's fine. That tells me that I didn't take the edge too thin in any places, and now I can be confident that the edge is going to hold up under use. The blade has been hand sanded, the shoulders have been cut in, it is ready for the etch. So this is some ferric chloride. We'll dunk it in there, take a quick test etch to make sure that there's no oil or anything on the blade, and then we'll let it sit there, maybe take it out and scrub it off a couple times just until I'm happy with the etch. Now the blade's been etched, now it's time for the handle and the fittings. I took the other half of the horseshoe, cut it into 3 pieces, stacked it up, welded it down into this, welded this all together. So I'll probably cut it off here. This is going to be a guard, this will be the butt cap. This might need to be stretched out a little more, I'm not sure. And I went ahead and punched a hole in it just so it's close to fitting. Yeah, that's really close. I'm really happy with that for, pretty much as forged. Now we've got to file that to get it to fit the rest of the way. And then we'll start selecting a piece of moose antler for the handle. Well, there's our moose antlers. Well, after looking at these antlers, I think this is going to be the right piece right here. It kind of matches the size of the knife, and I think that'll feel really good on this knife. And it should look proportioned. So I'll cut that off right where I think I need it and go from there. Well, the handle is starting to fit. It still needs to go a little bit further. So I've got this tool, which is called a broach, that I just made. And that will help us kind of saw material out from the inside of the inside of the handle. Alright, so I tried brazing a tang extension on. That didn't go so well, so I ended up just welding it. That went fine. It's not how I wanted to do it, but I mean, structurally, whatever. It doesn't really matter. So, then we've got our guard fitting up nice. Our copper spacer also fits. And the handle. I'm real happy with how that's going. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is grind this tang down into or at least the end of this tang down into kind of a tenon, so that we can have a hole in our wrought iron butt cap, so it can be peened over and riveted onto the butt cap. And then I'll also put 2 copper pins in here that'll also get peened over onto that. Well, here's the knife all finished up. As you can see, I made a nice simple sheath for it. I really like how the overall look of the piece came together with the wrought iron and the antler and the copper. I really enjoyed making this piece, and I hope you enjoyed watching me make it. Make sure to like and subscribe and to stay tuned for my future videos. Thank you for watching.